Posted by u/euphoric_operation. WIBTA if I requested a different teacher for my second daughter over something that happened 5 years ago? There's a lot of backstory I can get into, but it'll make the post super long, so for the sake of size, I'm going to try and TLDR it. TLDR of 5 years ago, my then 9-year-old daughter started puberty earlier than others her age, and body odor was a problem. Foot smell also runs in my family. We started using foot powder for her shoes, but sometimes it didn't help, and she habitually bounced her foot when working. Being young, she loved wearing flats to school and was in the class of RT, rude teacher. RT pulled my daughter aside before recess and told her that she needed to keep her shoes on because she was making the classroom stink, and then days later called out my child's name in front of the entire class, prompting my child to put her foot down. The teacher thanked her and went on teaching. When I pointed out how embarrassing that was for a 9-year-old who doesn't have control of her body smells right now, the teacher was very blasé about the situation and how she'd handled it, and it gave my daughter body issues that she's still dealing with. She's going into 9th grade now. I've never forgiven RT or gotten over. Now, in May, requests for the upcoming school year were sent out. I requested my second daughter, D2, not be put in RT's class. I didn't go into detail as to why, just requested she not be in RT's class. Teachers were posted today, and lo and behold, D2 is in RT's class. D2 has ADHD, gets very emotional very easily, and from what I heard from a friend who subbed for RT's class last year, it was a shit show. I have my reservations on how well RT would be able to handle D2, or if there would be a similar situation of embarrassment for her. Would I be the asshole if I emailed the principal and asked her to move D2 to the other teacher's class before school starts? I don't want to make her work harder, but I also don't like the approach of just wait and see what happens. My husband, however, feels that we should give RT another shot, because we will have 2 other kids going into her class in the future, if she's still teaching, and we can't always ask for special placement because of something that happened 5 years ago. So, WIBTA? Now on to some comments. Posted by Throwaway Work. NTA, you are never the asshole for doing what you can to protect your daughters from bullying. I would also be very honest, in a kid-friendly way, to your daughter about what is happening so that she knows you're on her side no matter what. OP responded with, luckily D1, the OG student in RT's class, knew I was on her side and pivest when we went to parent-teacher conferences. After our meeting, I wanted to switch her, but she decided to tough it out cause there was only a few months left of school. She's 14 now, but she still worries that she smells. She gets nervous about taking her shoes off around new people and will apologize for the smell that virtually doesn't exist anymore. Mouse_attack responded with, what Op sees as bullying sounds a lot like maintaining order in classroom based on her condensed description. While I would agree that parents have a duty to protect their children from bullying, I also think it is harmful to give children the idea that they can avoid any person in authority they have conflict with. It isn't true, and it will set them up for lifetime of frustration. It sounds like the teacher mentioned the foot odor to the daughter one time in private. Op responded by inviting her child to ask for a transfer to another classroom for the remainder of the year. Her daughter showed grit by deciding to complete the year with the teacher she didn't like. Good for her. Now she knows that she can maintain her composure and survive a suboptimal situation. That will serve her very well when she enters the workforce. It sounds to me like Op is one of what they're now calling snowplow parents, parents who are determined to clear all obstacles from their children's path. There comes a point when that will simply not be within her power. Better her children learn to handle uncomfortable situations on their own rather than ask her to keep getting them get out of jail free cards. Posted by Creativicolors. No, NTA. Advocate for your child. OP responded with, I just worry that maybe my husband is right, and the principal will be like, no, you can't switch over something that happened 5 years ago. Posted by Pennywise Skarsgård. ESH. Your daughter should have been taught not to take off the shoes in class. That is disgusting, smelly feet or not. The teacher should have talked with you and your daughter privately about not taking the shoes off. Mouse_attack responded with, but it sounds like she did. Op says she pulled daughter aside before recess to talk with her about keeping her shoes on to prevent the foot smell from spreading throughout the room. She's not at all clear about what happened to make the teacher call the child's name in front of the class, only that saying her name apparently made her daughter put her foot down, literally, I think. OP responded with, she wasn't taking them off intentionally, she would be bouncing her foot while working or listening to the teacher and her flats would slip off her heel. Posted by Keenan230. The teacher messed up. And so did you. You should have gotten your kid to a doctor about her odor issues. You let your kid suffer. OP responded with, I did ask her doctor about it actually, but good on you for assuming I hadn't. Posted by O Crumbcakes. Nah. In hindsight, you should have been more explicit in your request. Often schools place siblings into the same teachers because the families are already familiar with the teacher. If you were really vague, the school may have not understood your needs. If the school is a school that supports their staff, teachers can also make requests. If the teacher really didn't like your daughter or your family, they would have requested to also not have you. Since your kid got placed with them, chances are fairly high that they either don't remember you or enjoyed having your daughter in their class. If the teacher actively disliked you, they would have tried everything to avoid having to deal with you again. I've asked to swap where I swapped a really lovely child for a known behavioral child, because I didn't want to deal with the lovely child's parents, but admin always has the final say. School admin often get a lot of requests from parents, they can't all be accommodated. A popular teacher can't have every kid in the grade. Schools try to balance out the behavioral needs. We try to split up cliques that could be bullies. We try to pair up kids who are good fits for each other. Etc. etc. So, if your request was just I'd like X to be in Mrs.'s class, or nearly as vague, then it probably got lost in the jumble. I'd reach out to admin now and explain your issue more accurately to see if they can make any last-minute changes. They might not be able to do so based on numbers and whatnot. But it would at least let them know you really want the change, so if they got new enrollment that requires some shuffling, they would be able to shuffle your daughter without any issue. Update, WIBTA if I requested a different teacher for my second daughter over something that happened 5 years ago? I posted last week and 99% of the comments told me I wouldn't be the asshole, that I needed to advocate for my child, and protect her from a bad teacher, so I emailed the principal that night and basically said I'm so sorry I know teachers just got posted but I requested, D2, not be in RT's, rude teacher, class, is it possible to have her switched into the other class? Monday, the principal called me and in essence said there's a lot that goes into making class lists, academics have to be considered, similar numbers of boys and girls in each class, making sure if any kids couldn't be in a class together, they were split, so it's just too hard. I told her my side, and how I'm sure that nothing would likely happen but for me personally there's a non-zero chance of her causing undue harm to another of my children. She told me she'd talked to RT many times, and although she'd yet to see her teach, she's new, that RT is very nice, and she'd talked to RT without naming names to let RT know that a parent was concerned about having their child in her class due to previous treatment of a sibling. Tuesday, I talked to someone from the district that is the administrator for the schools in my area. He asked me about the situation, I told him, and I mentioned that the principal had said it was too hard to switch students, so I was wondering if it was something that the district could do easier, that I know all it takes is one bad experience with a teacher to ruin kids' school enjoyment. He said the district didn't typically override the principal's decisions, but he wanted to talk to her because he agreed that what RT said and did was inappropriate and I shouldn't have to stress about another of my kids being in her class. Wednesday, the principal called me again. She was very shocked because when we talked I thought we'd reached an understanding, but I just got off the phone with my supervisor and, well, wouldn't you know it, there just happened to be a second grade teacher in her office, so the teacher helped the principal find a student who was equal to my daughter. They talked to the parents and D2 would no longer be in RT's class. The principal said, you know, if you were still having reservations about her being in the class you could have come to me. I said, I wasn't trying to go above you, you just said it was too hard, so I didn't know if it was something the district could have an easier time doing. She ended with, well, we hope to see you at back to school night, and if you need anything please let me know first. Anyway, that's the update. Thanks everyone for your judgment, insights, and to those of you who shared a bad experience, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. Now on to some comments. Posted by Yeehaw Me Ma. Ha ha, I thought we were in agreement now means I thought you accepted my refusal to consider your point of view. You go mom. OP responded with, thank you smile, that's definitely how I felt when she said that, like no? We weren't in agreement, you just pushed my concerns under the rug. Martha 90815 responded with, I wish I could quadruple like your comment. Posted by Jammy 913. Nice. The principal was definitely caught off guard by the district coming into this issue and didn't expect that at all. I'm sure you showed plenty of concern, but the principal is one of those who is used to having the last word on things with parents, and often forget there's a whole slew of people above them who can pressure them to do the right thing. OP responded with, I think she definitely was. I had even told the district I wasn't calling to get her in trouble or anything, but that I'd felt like she'd decided she couldn't/wouldn't do it and didn't want to try. Blue Air in Flight responded with, My favorite part is the need to keep students apart is more important than the need to keep a teacher and a student apart. Posted by Wild for Al Fun. I had a daycare director try to give me and I thought we had an understanding dressing down when I spoke to the owner of the daycare about an issue. We did have an understanding, I understood she wasn't interested in doing anything and I understood it wasn't acceptable. Now we have a new understanding where we got to the place we were meant to go. OP responded with, yes. Usually I'd be like, it is what it is, there's nothing I can do about it now. But after talking to my mom and getting an email that said RT was so excited to have D2 in her class, which I'm sure is just a template she sends out to all students' parents, I was like, I need to try the district. If they can't do anything, then it is what it is. Posted by Von Stupp. It's absolutely BS about how hard it would be to move kids around. OP responded with, exactly, I get that a lot goes into the class lists, but as my mom reminded me that Monday there's 8 days until school starts, that's plenty of time to figure out how to switch her. Affectionate_life 644 responded with, yes, although technically there can be some challenges, depends on the mix of personalities in the classroom and how many classrooms there are. Some kids have a history of rubbing each other the wrong way, etc., but usually there is at least one classroom that you can put a kid into, so it does take some time to think about some of the assignments, but if your kid doesn't have any behavioral problems, special needs, then it is usually pretty easy to do.